Radiant team ban.
Alright, hello and welcome back everyone here to the Synergy League Season 1 Europe. It's, well, Team Synergy's last game. They're going to be facing off against Virtus Pro, and, well, it doesn't really matter if they win. Synergy currently 0-6. I'm sure they'd like to make it 1-6, but Virtus Pro might have something to say about that. So hopefully you guys are out watching again. I'm Helium, and joining me once again, it's going to be Blaze. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Had a nice little break here, but yeah, I'm kind of rooting for Team Synergy on this one. As much as I respect Virtus Pro, and I think that they definitely have by far the huge advantage going into this one, in your own league, you kind of want to be able to at least pick up one win there. So we'll see what comes out of this one. But yeah, we haven't seen these guys personally, and we'll have to see if they can just take that one little game there. But it is up against a toughie, and Virtus Pro, they looked really good earlier today.
Yeah, they really did. God has been playing fantastic in that middle lane. Living up to his name, going godlike just about every game I see him these days. I've cast Synergy, I believe, once or twice at the very start of this, like maybe like the first or second day of the Synergy League. But I haven't seen them since. Chimera, I don't know if it's just a standout name, but that is the only person I recognize. So we'll see what they can get done as well. Some bans out here, but the first picks, it's going to be Batrider. We saw one Batrider today, but it's Batrider and Skywrath, the first two picks.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see the Void first phase ban and the Batrider first phase pick. I kind of feel like that's metas of the fallen past. I feel like there's so many opportunities here for Virtus Pro to play their own game, get their early roaming support play from Jotum, and see what Yol can do along with that, and they can create space for BZZ to farm up on whatever carry he desires with these two heroes. Like, there's so much burst nuke potential, and Ogre Magi on the front line, he doesn't really care if he takes a little bit of damage. He can tower dive decently with his armor, and yeah, I really think that there's a lot of potential here. Now, if the Batrider is playing it safe, then he won't be picked off because he is able to just kind of go for the boots first and hold back. But if he just gets overextended just a little bit, the concussive slow, the ignite slow, it makes it very difficult for him to maneuver, and it just takes one disable from VP's carry to bring him down. Viper, on the other hand, he's going to be less about positioning and just more about trying to survive long enough. Early on, he won't have that many points in corrosive, but as he builds up his levels, it'll be harder and harder to bring him down.
Yeah, and I mean, basically, with the lineup so far, you're going to be pretty much forced to prioritize that corrosive scan, which is pretty common. People going 4-1-4 on that Viper, just leaving the 1 in Nether Toxin. But, so Centaur War Runner, good ban for Synergy. It's exactly what I would have expected Virtus Pro to pick up. I mean, we saw the game earlier where they had Sky, Ogre, and then Sadoy on the Centaur War Runner, just making so much space. I mean, look at his Steam icon. It's a little dude running, and it says charge. At least that's what it looks like to me. So that's a Centaur player right there, if I've ever seen one. Virtus Pro bans out the supports. The one with the heals and the one that stops all the heals. Ancient Apparition and Dazzle going to take the fall, and, well, it's their pick right now. We'll see what Virtus Pro want to go with.
Charge. It sounds more like a Spirit Breaker player to me, but, you know.
Oh, good point.
You know. Okay, but anyways, the Ancient Apparition and the Dazzle bans are pretty interesting. They recognize the fact that Team Synergy already have great control with the Sticky Napalm, the Lasso, the Poison Attack, the Viper Strike. They are worried about that the control that they already present will be backed up by some very powerful damage and sustainability. So bringing these two heroes out is going to be very, very nice for them, and they might actually be able to pick up a hero that does some burst nuke that would be threatened by the Ancient Apparition. Major one that I'm looking at there is Morphling, but there are a couple others that rely on just getting healed up because they are glass cannons to a full extent. But yeah, we'll see. For right now, taking out the Ancient Apparition, and they have a pretty open pool right now. Like, they can go for any of their cores. They're going to go with their offlaner. Tide with the Ravage should be able to enable teamfight substantially, and they're laying the groundwork for what they're going to bring forth for BZZ. I think this BZZ pick is going to be really how this lineup plays, and right now they're just setting up attack speed boost, disables, and everything in the world to create space for whatever hero he wants to play.
Yeah, which, I mean, I haven't seen Virtus Pro. It seems like they still like to get down and dirty. They like to have good team
10
fights.
seconds
I don't know if they've been messing with the Illusion Heroes too much. Like, no Naga ban,
5
no Terrorblade ban at
remaining.
all. All viable choices right now in Virtus Pro. Like, they got the lineup to make space. Like, put
Reserve
Tidehunter, whatever this next hero is, Sky and Ogre in a lane, like, buy some time, and then Terrorblade just takes all your towers. Or something along that lanes. Or they could just go with the Gyrocopter. It worked earlier. It's still going to be great synergy along with the Tidehunter, the Ravage, the Call Down. And speaking of synergy, well, it's their third pick right now. They likely have their offlaner. Viper probably into the mid lane. So the core's pretty much exposed. I guess they do still need that safe lane hero, but probably want to get some of those supports. A lot of them already banned out.
Yeah. Now, with the most recent patch, Terrorblade did get quite a few significant nerfs. He did, in pub status, lose a win rate of about 5% over the day, and it's gradually climbing back up maybe 0.5% or so. But that doesn't really speak much about the competitive scene. Like, right now, we don't have enough data to really know.
Envy destroyed with it yesterday.
That's Eternal Envy. There is no way that Terrorblade is not a first ban against Cloud9, but that's Eternal Envy in particular. I wouldn't really chalk that up to.
Some teams don't do it, like Fnatic for some reason.
Different story for a different day. But for now, we've got the Earthshaker on the field for Team Synergy. They have a lot of control. They really do. I've said this already with the first two heroes, but with this Earthshaker bringing up like 3 stuns in a fight, it's just about him getting in the right position to make use of those. So I kind of feel that Skywrath is already quick enough on its feet to not be subjected to that. But if you get a Fisher block on a Tidehunter, this is a hero that, Kraken Chill or not, can take a lot of damage and potentially be brought down. So we're going to have to see Sadoy play a little bit more reserved. Luckily, the creep equilibrium for Dire side is a little bit better than he used to be, but yeah, there's no guaranteed safe position for him. He does have to be all awares all the time, but we'll see who's going to be roaming with this Earthshaker. That's the big deal in my opinion. Not just the start off with that Fisher, but who follows it up. And there are still a lot of supports that can really accomplish a lot. You can start it off with actually like a hero like Shadow Demon. I think that would be pretty powerful against Skywrath and along with Earthshaker. So I think that could be a really cool hero to pick up, but I don't know. I'm a Shadow Demon picker, so maybe I'm biased.
Juggernaut support, most definitely. Not a believer, man? Come on.
There we go.
Called it.
BZZ. What do you got with this fella? I don't know. I mean, obviously, like we mentioned, there were some significant nerfs coming out for him. Movement speed for Metamorphosis, I think, was a big one, honestly. He loses 25 MS for that there. All the other stats, I mean, they're definitely nerfs, but I think that's, in my opinion, the biggest one.
His biggest strength wasn't nerf, though. Like, the fact that he still turns towers into rubble in, like, 2 seconds flat. So, like, there's that potential. Yes, he's a little easier to deal with if you can, you know, find the ability to deal with it, but Synergy will probably be hard-pressed trying not to get 5-man ravaged or blown up by multicast or just a cast plus Skywrath Mystic Flare. So the space is definitely still there, but yeah, I think Terrorblade, if he does show up to a fight, he's going to be a little slower, a little easier to bring down those illusions. But speaking of a hero that can just slay illusions and help defend against that Terrorblade push and get back to the fight in time with his remnants, it's Ember Spirit picked up 4th, and for the reasons just mentioned, I like that pick.
Yeah, a lot of potential to bring those down quickly, but there is a lot of potential as well for Virtus Pro to catch the Ember Spirit off guard.
To kill Ember.
Yeah, you get a silence on this guy, you'll connect with a concussive, and he doesn't live from there. Maybe he preemptively gets the Flame Guard up, but otherwise he just has to always make sure his Fire Remnant is out, and he's willing to jump to it the second that he sees the Skywrath on his map. Whatever color he may take, he's got to memorize that color or get some hero icons, because the second he sees Skywrath anywhere near him, breaking out of smoke or what have you, he has to be a tower and a half away. Like, he cannot be anywhere near that, or he's going to get dropped down so quickly.
Yeah, and when they go to remove supports, they'll take out the Witch Doctor, I guess. I mean, he gets picked, adds some push to your lineup, it's nice. The Death Ward is pretty good as well, good physical damage, scaling support into the late game as a result. I don't know if it's the best synergy with Earthshaker. I mean, most of those heroes are banned out, right? Or picked. Sky, Ancient Apparition, and the Morana. But obviously there are a few more, so...
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the Witch Doctor ban other than it being a really powerful support. I would definitely prefer the Shadow Demon here. I mean, I was talking about the defensive disruption just naturally against heroes like Sky and Tide, but it's huge to help out Ember Spirit. Like, his illusions kind of suck, that's not really relevant. It's the fact that you can keep him alive for 2.5 more seconds so that he can get those casts off. You can nullify a lot of the Ancient Seal time, for example, or maybe a multicast time. And I think that's just so important to be able to play reactively there. So I think that's the best pick by far. But at the same time, they only have one AoE stunner, really. They have 2 Searing Chains, and then they have Earthshaker. And that's going to be kind of the limited factor for their full team fight. So maybe go for something that's a little bit team fight oriented, or Rubik can be really good on that front against this kind of lineup, but we'll have to see.
Reserve time.
Yeah, it'd be nice to maybe... I guess you can always crack a shell out of silence, but just some silence to stop some of this casting. Maybe a silencer support. But I don't know. You're running a little squish there.
I feel like a silencer is really good if you're able to cast it in between spell casts. Like Virtus Pro, they initiate, they cast one spell, and then you respond with silence so they can't follow up those spells. In this case, Virtus Pro could really just hang on to all their spells. The silence would delay the fight a few seconds. They're tanky enough. Oh, sorry about that. Tanky enough to survive through that duration, and then they'll come out the other side and take them down. VP picking up the puck here. Again, more team fight, more pick-off potential. Even Terrorblade actually able to rat it out even further with this puck. A lot of people don't think of it this way, but Rat and Dreamcoil are just as good in fights as they are to interrupt TPs. You try to TP home saying, oh crap, Terrorblade's taking our tier 3. Suddenly 3 of your TPs are cancelled and he's going to 1v1
$1 million Dream Coils.
1v2 the opposition that he faces at the base with the Sunder. So I honestly think there's a lot of value in that, and I've already talked plenty today about Lich, but I just don't think he offers all that much.
It's your favorite hero, right?
He's just kind of that filler pick. It's like we don't really know what to pick, and we think that this can help, and yeah, he will help, but he's not going to win you the game. It's not a game-winning pickup, and I feel there's going to be so many times where they wish they could respond with a spell steal, with a disruption, but they picked the wrong hero. We'll see. Obviously, Lich can absolutely do work situationally, but it's going to be on the Earthshaker to set up those close quarters AoE stuns.
Alright, so to start off the final best of 1 today, the last group stage game that Synergy is going to have to play. I'm not actually sure about Virtus Pro. I'll check quickly. Let's see if I still have the link over. Virtus Pro is 3-3, so yeah, this is going to be their last game as well. They're in the middle of the pack right now. They're 5th place, so they'd love to go 4-3 here. I'm not sure what the cutoff is. It looks like the top 4 is the cutoff for the next sort of stage, the little bracket to get to the 2 European teams, or I think there's 4 European teams going through. So yeah, Virtus Pro can still make it. Synergy, they're out of it, but hey, you can deny Virtus Pro. Maybe they hold a grudge. But it's going to be Jadam on Skywrath Mage here. BZZ on the Terrorblade up top. We'll look towards the middle lane where we find Yul supporting on the Ogre. Unfortunately, no core Ogre. God playing, I guess one of his signature heroes will be the Puck. Pretty much every mid laner's signature hero. The Puck, and it'll be Sidoi. His Centaur was banned, so he'll pick up the big green guy, the Tidehunter, instead.
So if they do ping out the ward up top here, they know that the Skywrath was placing that because they already had their ward in place. There's a bit of an advantage to getting the wards down a little bit earlier, even though they will expire before the 7-minute mark. And it used to apply to runes, that limitation, but obviously that's not a rune ward, and the last 7 minutes now instead of 6, so not as applicable. Anyways, John will trade up a little bit with HHH, but he's got the boots. He'll be fine, and it looks like, yeah, just a quick sacrifice from the Lich on the top lane, which will help him really get this lane back under control, because the polling won't come through as early from the Skywrath. He's going to focus on zoning more so at the earliest stage of the map here, and yeah, I think that's going to give Batrider a chance to get some real experience. In the meantime, Yul puts down a ward just dead center mid lane, just wants to make sure the Puck isn't getting ganked, because that's one of the biggest things about Ember Spirit is if you can close in, get the Searing Chains, and they can follow it up with something else, it can be a great frustration for the Puck, but this ward keeps him covered, and he should be able to do okay in this laning matchup.
Yeah, you can see they're trying pretty hard to shut down the Puck here. They will put the Lich towards the middle lane. We saw this once already today, and it was a Lich that maxed armor in like a matchup against a TA that you were never going to win anyways. But putting the points in the Frost Blast, Chimera stacking up some camps diligently can be really, really annoying to that Puck. Like squishy hero, Frost Blast will make quite an impact and maybe keep God playing somewhat passive and limit his CS a little bit.
Yeah, so, I mean, it does mean the Puck isn't going to have a great time, like, snowballing forward. He'll still get an okay time Blink Dagger, but it's really going to be on the others that are going to be able to make more across the map. Like, because there's only a dual lane down bottom, the Tide should be getting a lot of farm down here. And not only the opportunity to potentially stack up the Ancients and farm those, but just pretty much getting majority of the experience that you would get down here. Boot's already up for him. Going to be building up, mostly ignoring Gush for the first 6 or 7 levels, and otherwise having a pretty good time. But wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah, unexpected. 2v1. I get there at the very tail end of it, so we saw the Ember flop and die for the first blood, and Chimera picks up the rebuttal kill. But looking at the teamfight recap, it's, well, a little bit better for Puck in terms of gold, but in terms of XP, Synergy gonna get the upper hand there just a little bit. Now up top, this rotation over Yol onto HHH. It doesn't look like Jotum went with him. Jotum went into the mid lane, and they look for Yamaha or R7 again. And Jotum now actually in a little bit of trouble. The Bolas will go out. They're not going to latch, and, well, that'll be a safe Jotum.
Yeah, and he's going to get the regen rune, so he'll be right back up to Stomp. Up top, it's 5 stacks of Sigma Napalm onto the Ogre, but able to survive through it. He'll regen up pretty quickly with just 1 Tango, and it's going to be the Batrider that gets repelled. And, yeah, just looking at this mid aspect, Yamaha felt pretty safe with the Lich supporting him to be able to survive through some real damage here, but G actually gets hit under the tower by the Searing Chains. Doesn't take any tower autos, though, but by using that offensive orb, he's having to chew through all his bottle charges just trying to survive. Still playing back and forth with them, and the important thing I want to note here is that Yamaha went for Sleight of Fist. I have not seen a Sleight of Fist at level 3 or actually level 2 is when he got it. I have not seen a level 2 Sleight of Fist in, it feels like, ages. It must have been
that would
at least
he
4
would have killed
months.
Puck if he had Flame Guard, like, right there.
Yeah, or he at least wouldn't have died to the Puck earlier with those magical nukes.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like just a general error. Maybe he feels differently because of Lich matchup, but right here, he's just, I don't find it to be all that valuable, other than increasing his range for Searing Chains, which would work for ganks, but he's the one getting ganked, so it's not really working very well in his favor. Another dive from G.
God, gonna take some tower hits here, though, as he dives in. Oh, he phases it out and toggles the aggro off, I guess on the siege creep that was nearby, but HHH rotates down, and it allows them to pick up, again, the kill. In the name of their Ember Spirit. Chimera Dota is, what, 2-0 right now? Carry Lich, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly fine to give the Lich kills here, because in general, you're still going to be getting more value by pinning down that Ember Spirit. He's going to be sitting on just bottle and boots for the longest of time. Now Yol in a bad spot here. A lot of slows taking effect in No Man's Land. Even with the magic stick, I don't see him surviving, so he will pop the charges, but he can't turn and stun because of the turn rate slow. It's got to be Jotum that gives him the space he needs, and in the end, they're actually going to turn it onto Lich here. I think they'll get this kill pretty easily with all the magic nukes coming out.
Yeah, take the Orb Waning Rift. Just 1 point of Waning Rift, not a lot of damage, but God not gonna miss uphill, so we will get the kill there on the Lich, burying the icy manifestation that is Lich. Lich is level 4, so he's doing well. Yamaha R7 here, level 4 as well. Isn't that a motorcycle, by the way? And God's going in for more. Okay, 1 point of Flame Guard now. That's not too much magic to burn through. It's like 50. Waning Rift level 1 should do it. And will dodge the Searing Chains. Oh my gosh, he might be able to turn this. He's going to throw out the orb. He gets very, very low, and he will actually fall. Lich going to get the kill. Would have been on a killing spree if he didn't just go down. He's sitting at 3-1 right now, and now Sadoy chasing Whim away. Oh, actually, they missed that. It's going to block, though, for a while. And now Sadoy going to try to run away. Can he get out of here? Trying to position nicely, but Lich rotating down off the middle lane, and now he's going to go. Lich finding another kill. 4-1 right now. Putting the team on his back.
Yeah, he's having a pretty good time here. Early Tranquils means he can keep roaming, and with the sacrifice at level 2, he has nearly unlimited mana. Just has to wait for cooldowns, and he'll have a continuously infused mana pool. So with the HP continually healing him from the Tranquil Boots, he's going to be the #1 roamer, and he's going to be able to put out a lot of damage, as well as not only find his Chain Frost early, but most importantly, in my opinion, getting the next point of Chain Frost that much sooner, because the cooldown reduction is absolutely immense for that ability. But for now, yeah, Sadoy just goes back to the lane. He's still doing okay. I mean, level 5 as your offlaner. The mid lane and the bottom lane, they're happy to even draw even, because these are lanes that they should be dominated in, considering what synergy committed to the lanes. And of course on top, it's just complete slugfest here. BZZ doing a lot of work with his illusions, but he is a little slow. So with the treads, he's down to 340 movement speed, and you got to consider maybe getting an early point in Bloodlust just to allow him to maneuver once he goes into the big bad.
Still faster than Viper.
Yeah.
At least by 5 anyways. But yeah, this is the Metamorphosis spawning up the illusions to get the maximum uptime there, so this could be the death of the tower, but we'll have to look back middle. God's getting aggressive, dropped the Dream Coil, and did bring down the Ember Spirit. Jodam is there now up top. Yol grabbing the creep wave. BZZ still pushing along. Batrider is here. HHH will get stunned up again, just trying to buy as much time as possible. But now it's a rotation over. Yol gonna get blocked. Yol also gonna go down, and he doesn't get it. That was so close, and the presence of mind to just TP out of there. So they get the tower last hit, they TP out, they don't lose anything, and they also force that rotation. It's now Virtus Pro, they've taken 1 tower, they've evened up the kills.
Yeah.
4-4.
And it's hard to keep track of it, but check out the Dire jungle right here. Stacks all over the place. A lot of mud golems, unfortunately. It means that the Tide and the Terrorblade can clear them up a lot easier than the Puck, but no matter the case, I just gotta say, there's so much of an investment into these camps. Like, they've gotten so much potential neutral creep value out of this.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job. I mean, that's just Skywrath Mage, right?
As far as I can tell,
Great support to play right now. He's super fast. Like, he can control the runes. He can stack the camps. He's very mobile without boots. Like, what more do you want in a support?
Yeah, most certainly. And, yeah, they're just going to get so much potential farm for G here. And then later on, obviously, the ones that do physical damage will probably tackle the medium camps. But it's still so nicely done as G just rebounds forward. And I thought his Blink Dagger would be delayed significantly more. But not only playing a really nice game throughout in the mid lane, but now he gets some freebies here in the jungle itself. So yeah, you got to be confident in this guy's potential to move in towards that next big item. Bottle, no tally, treads, and 1100 gold banked up at only 8 minutes.
Yeah, HHH trying to do the same though, trying to get as much out of his jungle as possible. The offlane is difficult to say the least against, what do we got? 1 early point in Reflection, maxing out Conjure Image, and keeping 2 in Metamorphosis.
Interesting.
But HHH, yeah, that is kind of an interesting build there. Trying to find that Blink Dagger. He's got the Tranquil Boot, 700 gold, clear out some stacks, try to get that Blink up by 11-12 minutes on the Batrider and look to initiate. But look at Sidoi here. Ravage online, Invisibility Rune. Sentries are being carried by Lich right now. It's fairly rich support. He's done well this game to get a lot of kills. But Sidoi's, you know, got his team coming in from all directions towards the mid lane, and he's ready to unleash this Ravage.
Yeah, they really want in the mid lane here. He's in a perfect position to set up G for the Dream Coil, but the Sentry Ward comes out.
They just dropped it! Lich just disappears! He melted so fast. They didn't even have to throw the Ravage. It doesn't look like they want to re-engage on it. I mean, Ravage, Dream Coil, the Viper with no points in Corrosive Skin. I guess it's okay because he was, you know, in the defensive lane, but now when he starts getting involved or forced to get involved in the fights, like, he's going to disappear. There's a slow to go out. Still no point in Gush from Sidoi.
Yeah.
I feel like you can go 1-3-3 on Tidehunter and be fine, but he'll max out Linker Smash regardless.
It's better for farming Ancients here if they were stacking that, but in this case, then maybe he's farming Mud Golems on the Dire side. For now, he's taking the creeps on the Radiant side, and he's taking absolutely no damage from these guys when they're afflicted by the Anchor Smash debuff, which is pretty much constantly. So, tons of free money for him, and a lot of potential gold lost for the Batrider. He wants his Blink, he wants to rebound, but that was their only stack, actually, and it's completely gone.
Yeah, well, HHH got the one, the safe Radiant camp, and he's moved off into the lane. He's got about 1,500 gold, so he's getting pretty close, about 3/4 of the way there to the Blink. Let's check in with Ember Spirit, because, you know, you thought he would have had a great time in this middle lane, but honestly, that early point in Sleight of Fist kind of screwed him over, and he died a few times, more than a few. He's on a dying spree. He's 0-3-1 on the KDA. Only 26 CS. Puck with 20 more than that. Sure, some of that's come from neutrals, but look at this. Bottle started with the null tally, and he's got the Blink Dagger and full treads. So he's good to go. And I see a kill somewhere. I didn't actually see it. It was in the bottom lane.
Viper Shark Chain Frost onto Ogre. It's not that big a deal. They were able to get the spells off on him, and he's not a hero with escape mechanism, so he's going to get gunned down pretty hard by something like that. But yeah, I mean, G commitment to the neutral camps. He's able to farm up a Mud Golem there and clear out the rest of the magic damageable creeps, if that's a word, I don't know, but
I'll allow it.
He's got the Blink Dagger now. That's the big important thing. And even a DD room, like this next team fight for him is just going to be explosive. And yeah, Yamaha, he might have some cool dirt bikes, but he hasn't really been showing the jumps. He hasn't been using the remnants that actively. He's just been missing Sleight of Fist on neutrals and just having a really slow start.
We need some no-hand backflips into a can. Like, come on!
Man, Viper looks so damn squishy when he doesn't have corrosive
He
skin.
is squishy.
Like, it just feels...
5 armor and no magic resist besides default, but...
Feels like you're just putting cracks in your armor right from the get-go. Like, you take for granted the fact that Viper should have that kind of durability. Oh gosh, Earthshaker can't even get a spell off. G just playing
he got
him.
obliterated by that double damage. Puck 3-shot him. Attack twice and then a waning rift, which is now up to rank 3 here. Puck, I mean, with 1 point in phase shift, you're not extremely slippery, even with the blink dagger, but like 2-3 more levels here, God is going to be almost unkillable for synergy, and that's going to be a real problem. We see Lich trying to get involved in the top lane. The Metamorphosis comes out though, and Lich is like, alright, I gotta go. Peace.
Well, it's been up actually for a while, but I mean, all the same, he got what he wanted to done. Look at the tier 2 top tower, like that Metamorphosis and the illusions just chew through that thing, and there's very little they can do until the blink dagger comes out on bat. Finally, that happens here at the 12-minute mark, but we'll see if it's too late. For now, Yol gets dropped down in the mid lane.
Space created, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, they do have Ancients to farm here, Sadoy. That build we were talking about, 3 points at Kraken Shell, maxed out Anchor Smash. Even the big creeps don't even do anything here.
Yeah. It's a bit faster with max Anchor Smash, but you're fine. Those just 3 points in each of those. Okay, well, they will find the puck in the middle lane. That's the unveiling of the Blink Dagger Lasso coming out from HHH. It's at nighttime, so not quite fast enough, but again, it's just space created. They force out the Glyph from Synergy here for their tier 2 tower in that top lane, as it is 7 HP from deny range. Very, very close, but not quite. And speaking of 7, the scoreline also tied up 7-7, but it is 4,000 gold advantage, and right now about a 1,000. The last 2 pickoffs was a big gain in experience for Synergy.
Yep, so, I mean, they're still looking to make things happen on their core heroes, in my opinion. Like, the Mechanism is up for the Viper, but he needs to get some levels behind him. Like, maxed out Poison Attack and Nether Toxin, it'll allow you some really offensive potential, but I really feel like Virtus Pro are the ones that have the offensive stuff going for them. Like, you talk about the fact that G can't really disengage with the Phase Shift Blink because of the low duration on that, but that just encourages him to go in and be very aggressive with the Ravage behind him. Now, Blink's on Sadoy, he's TPing the mid lane. This could be huge, but the Blink is still on cooldown. If the Blink wasn't on cooldown right now, that'd be a double. But for now, he's just gonna kind of ward them off and have the opportunity in a few seconds.
At least they saved Yol. Yol finally had some support with him that time, so he won't take that 3rd death. 0-2-2 on the Ogre Magi as Tidehunter blinks forward somewhat aggressively. Finally a point in that gush, so that 40% slow, that armor reduction, and some pinpoint damage, as that Viper's still very squishy. No points in corrosive skin yet, but they're going to start coming online soon. As God looking for the backstab, but they see him. There's a ward there from the Radiant keeping the vision, and they're going to throw out the Echo Slam as well. Maybe not quite necessary, but they really wanted that kill, and again, it's another big priority kill. He's the 2nd highest net worth hero at 5.8.
Yeah, it's like, some people may look at that and say that was just an absolutely silly Echo Slam, but they need that kill so damn bad. There's nothing that you need to withhold in that situation. It's not like the Echo Slam's going to turn a fight before you get your Blink Dagger anyways. There are some Earthshaker players that can manage that, but they're only the best Earthshaker players that can really get a decent Echo off in this kind of situation. So, better to just use it there and secure that kill. Now we will see there have been some wards pinged out a little bit back and forth. We'll see some dewarding come into play pretty soon, I believe, but right now it doesn't really come down to vision so much as just positioning. Whoever is really ready to jump, it doesn't matter if you see them or not, they're the ones that can brute force. We're going to see Skywrath, for example, pick off the Earthshaker here, and it just comes down to him unveiling his full combo. I mean, the Earthshaker, if he's not at full HP, he's going to go down and just took 500 damage.
Oh, Yol's in trouble, but he's baiting them into a bad situation because G is here on the puck. He's already blown up the Lich, looking for more. There's the Gush to slow him down, Anchor Smash, and God gonna go home with the double kill for his troubles. Not too bad. Yol's also going to survive with like 60 HP. He'll walk back to base. TP's coming up top. Everybody's finally going to get his prize. He's had his eyes on it for a long time, and he will bring down now the tier 2. So 3 towers. That's how many Virtus Pro have taken. Looking at the dire tier 1s. Well, all their towers standing, so Synergy not only have they had sort of a tough time, no ability to push either, and now Whim melts their metamorphosis damage.
Yeah. BZZ almost had a kill on the Ember Spirit too. He got silenced, but they didn't get in range for the reflection, so that didn't happen. But they still forced him back. They take that tier 2. They rotate and find an Earthshaker and another tower. They honestly can look at Roche pretty soon. Like, the illusions aren't great for dealing damage to Roche, but they can still tank decently, even after the nerf. So, yeah, I see that happening pretty soon. I mean, they've got a couple gushes. They've got no bloodlust still. What do you think about this maxed Ignite build?
I like it. I mean, from what I haven't like gone in the game with the calculator out, but from what I've heard, the Ignite is the more guaranteed damage, at least until you get multicast. So I usually favor Ignite, and I think it's you end up putting 3 points in it, and then once you get multicast, I just then finish the Fire Blast. That's what I've been doing. Very rarely I'll put an early point in Bloodlust. Depends who my core hero is, and if we want to run at people, but I don't know. We see you'll die again, but I mean, honestly, it's a pick-off. It's good because you're behind, but it doesn't really matter too much.
I think Yol is kind of playing around this game. Like, he has died far too many times. It's just the positioning errors and him trying to do things with his hero by himself. It's not really warranted, but it's not costing them too much momentum because they're already so far ahead. So, kind of being carried by the rest of his teammates, but these blinks, they're just so damn powerful. And we can even see these two, just G and Sadoy, being able to kill heroes because they've got that Dagon.
Yeah, there's a silence out the way. There's no 4 staffs up, so no utility there. The Ravage gonna be on to 2, almost 3, but Ember Spirit was jaunting forward as, okay, HHH is going to live. They didn't get any other kills off that. Actually, God will fall here in the middle lane, brought down by the Viper as we were watching that Ravage go out. Vipers finished up the mech, will be going for...
He jumped into 3 people.
Likely a BKB.
He jumped into the Ember Spirit, the Lich, and Viper all at melee range, and they just absolutely destroyed him, so misplay there. Up on...
Oh gosh, R7. Talk about misplaced. He's about to go down to this Terrorblade illusion one more time.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
That was like bitter and like the maximum damage there you could get from the illusion, and he goes down. But BZZ, he grabbed the right one. The Echo again used for a solo kill, but very worthwhile. I mean, he's pushing a 10k net worth. They're able to pick off that hero. Lich, of course, who else is going to pick up the kill? He's got 5 of the 11 for that team. Yol, what's up? Finds the Viper. I was like, okay, guys. Oh, but this one's got backup. So I think Viper didn't see that from the tree line, even though they actually, okay, they don't have the wards there. Okay, they decided to leave Yol. Yol's gonna fall again, and yeah, this guy's kind of clowning. He's on a dominating death streak, 0-4.
Pretty much. Progress towards that milk award, but yeah, we're still... I actually think that it's starting to actually matter now. Like, before I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, he feeds a little bit, but they have the net worth advantage. They're giving a little bit more away to Synergy each and every time, and yeah, he's definitely got to stop that, or they're going to be losing their entire advantage. But for now, it's going to be Lich to be solo killed by the double damage and the Dagon of G. And, yeah, I don't really see any other way of avoiding this situation. If you get anywhere near the puck, he's just going to keep doing it. And while I generally absolutely hate maxing Dagon because of the cost inefficiencies, the amount of momentum that he has behind this, picking up a number 2 at only 19 minutes and having the blink, I honestly think it's fully warranted.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, it's always sort of a risky venture, especially in 6.82, right? Like, you start to fall behind, you start to go late game, then you're like, great, I've got a Dagon, and I'm not Tinker. Like, I can't just spam this thing in a team fight. Basically just the one use, maybe like 2 or 3 if it's a really long team fight. But we'll see how it works out. It probably will work out. They're doing quite well. They're going to find another pick-off with there, and Arcane boots up, and well, now that the big ultimate is, well, still on cooldown, but also dead, maybe they double back and go for the Roshan, but it doesn't look like they want to find some kills. They might run into the Bat Rider.
Yeah, I think Bat's got good enough vision to avoid that, but we're going to see some Observer Wards come down as well. It looks like, they're pinging it out, both Ember Spirit and Bat Rider both pinging out that there was ward placed there. So, yeah, still going to try to get control back over the area. They're not going to de-ward this important one, though, that covers up the western side of the jungle, so that's still going to give some great intel that VP can use aggressively. And I would definitely say that the G's choice could have drawbacks, actually. They could just blink on... nope, that's nice. Force staff keeps them out just for a double dream foil.
There's the 2 times multicast, everything flying at him. The illusory orbs, the arcane bolts, and... well, you've only got 1 point in corrosive skin. That's only an additional 10% magic resist, so it puts him at like 32%, or maybe it's just because he's dead, but it should be 35.
Sorry, what's the math?
Oh, I can't read. You have
been
25 and it adds 10%, so shouldn't that just be 35 on corrosive skin? It says he has 32.
On his magic armor, it's multiplicative. It definitely multiplies based on it's 125% Okay, we do see a great Chain Frost coming down in the Radiant jungle, though. They do have the Sunder available, but not a great target. Oh, he Thunders its ally. There's your good target. Screw you, Skywrath. And, yeah, they take the fight. Hardcore. They get the mech up, they can use this to push, and screw Roche. They get and take major objectives right here and now.
Hey, Skywrath is fast. He can escape, so it's fine. He doesn't need HP. And they've dropped the sentry. They're kind enough to drop the sentry so that it's not blocking the camp and then deward. I guess that's just habit of playing on the Radiant side, sure. But or also they want to just post up in the jungle and also have the camp to farm, so I don't know. Kind of funny, something to note as, CIPA in some trouble. I'm sure there's a way to pronounce that, but I don't know it. They're looking for this. The Ignite goes off twice, and they're going to back on up and just hit the tower here. No metamorphosis for BZZ, but it doesn't matter. There's enough damage here to get the tower. They ping out Roche, so that will be their next thought process.
So we're going to be looking at that movement there, and yeah, they got the illusions to tank it nicely, or at least scout, and yeah, he's going to keep farming. And he says, okay, well, as long as we don't get Echo Slams, which is not going to happen with Wim not having a Blink Dagger, there's pretty much nothing that will contest this pit, so he's okay to just keep the map pushed out and do his thing in the pit itself, where they can take that down pretty easy. They've got Bloodlust, they've got mech, they can sustain and they can do the damage they need to, so pretty good spot for them to be in. But we're seeing some movement. CIPA, WIMM, they are going to go for the smoke play, and HHH is already here with Invis. Just a little too late, unfortunately.
Yep, and that'll be Terrorblade to pick up the Aegis of the Immortal after just having his BKB delivered. So he's got 1 life to spend, the potential for a good Sunder probably before he goes down. And then once he gets back up, he can at least BKB and run, BKB and fight. They're going to fight CIPA. 1 point again. The Corrosive taking a lot of damage from this. The Urn charges to go out, and he's going to die. Okay, that'll definitely force the death. Coming in with a Dagon, he probably would have burnt out to the Urn and the Ignite, but they will find the kill there, the pick off. There is buyback available on the Viper, but he might just respawn in 30 seconds. Maybe they can force it, but I don't think they'll do it for a tier 2.
Yeah, it's a very difficult hold for them. I mean, if they had the Battle Fury on Ember Spirit, I think they would still have a really good shot at this game, but as it is right now, Yamaha is just far too underfarmed.
He's really far from that, too.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's down at 5th place on the net worth. He's barely 7k at 23 minutes, just having a really rough time of it. And they've still got the Aegis and 10-second BKB on BZZ. Like, he could not only slow siege the tower with the illusions, but he can go ahead and just ban mode up with these extra lives, essentially with the second life having the BKB guaranteed and maybe a metamorphosis. Like, this guy is damn scary, and his teammates can give him the setup. We talked about this in the draft, but Ravage and Dreamcoil, they just allow BZZ to do his thing, just right click away.
Yep, the Fisher to, I guess, disrupt it a little bit. Like, hey, remember, we got an Earthshaker, watch out. But unfortunately, still doesn't have a blink, and he's like 150 gold away from it. So maybe they just give him 3 creeps, and he can figure it out. But it's BCC to jump on the Ancients. God's waiting for the 24-minute rune. We'll find a regen. Not bad at all for a puck. A little bit better maybe for Storm Spirit, but hey, nonetheless.
Ooh,
and they'll smoke up right under a ward, and well, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, geez, just baiting.
He's
like,
wants to jump on this. Yeah, he's like, I got this. The Ravage from Sonoy. Everyone's here and ready. Yamaha instantly just gonna melt. Lich will get off the ultimate there, and now Saipa gonna be just focused down. He's gonna try to TP out. Actually, okay, no, Dagon comes in, and that's gonna end it.
Oh wait, never mind.
Maybe had it. Yeah. Lich got away back to base.
Yeah, but without an ultimate.
All 3 dead and no buybacks. This is a Rax to fall more than likely, and might just force out the GG here from Synergy.
Without a Chain Frost, there's pretty much nothing to hold. Like, there is a Wim hiding, waiting in the wings. He has his Blink Echo, but it has to be absolutely perfect with the creep wave. Don't get too impatient. Wait for them to all cluster. Do they forget you have an Earthshaker? That's the question. They seem to be kind of clustered. This is the best opportunity he has. Go, man, go!
Yeah, it is. He does. Sonoy to drop. God as well. And now BZZ is going to BKB up. Can he get the Sunder? He does. He finds it on Lich. That new range coming in 6.82C is quite nice. And, well, it was a great effort by Wim. That's what he's been waiting for all game. But BZZ maybe able to turn this around. Let's not forget he's got the Aegis. Ember's going to respawn right now. And, well, they probably will be able to clean him up again. So that's definitely going to extend it and give Synergy another shot at this game. We'll see what BZZ can do. And it's not much, but he buys out the ultimate orbs and a TP, and well, the rest of his gold was reliable, so he actually doesn't lose any.
And welcome to the jam. That was beautiful from the Earthshaker. That's like, I mean, obviously they handed it to him. They kind of just took it for granted that he might not have the Blink Dagger at this moment, and they played it way too aggressively, but it was just absolutely glorious. The flanking play, the sneak attack, coming out of the trees and just tearing them apart. Just exactly what you want out of that hero. And yeah, we'll have to see if they can rubber band back enough based on that alone. I mean, they break the Aegis, they take down the big bad TB, and they keep their tier 3 alive. So no racks gone, despite what was an atrocious fight after that smoke broke apart. Honestly, there were a couple of good aspects of that fight. Like, Kimura got a really good chain frost off, but unfortunately he went for the puck, and G had the clairvoyance to just jaunt away while it was targeting him, and took it right out of that complete cluster. So now it's just going to be kind of solo pick-off time for G. He'll roam around the jungle, maybe find an opening on HHH with his Dagon, and yeah, this is going to get worse before it gets better if Synergy don't find something big.
Yep, and well, Synergy, they find some items, they'll pull out the Aghanim Scepter, and I believe Ember's Spirit, yeah, he's like 600 gold away now from finishing the Battle Fury. Only like 2 or 3 minutes late, so it's not terrible for the Ember Spirit. He's done alright finding the farm. Obviously not much luck in the team fights as he's 0, 5, and 7, 114 CS, and second on his team for net worth, but 5th overall in the game as it's the Terrorblade, the Puck, and the Tidehunter that are dominating that, and Viper in charge right now for his team. And started with the Ogre Club, so I thought he might go BKB, but, well, pulls out the Aghanim Scepter, and God just zoning people away by himself.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, obviously Virtus.pro could just Cloud9 it up and spread the map and do whatever they want. Synergy are the ones that have to make this float play happen, so they're already prepping. They're already getting Ice Armor on everybody, and when you look at it, Ice Armor does give them 7 armor, and on top of Viper's current bonus, that's pretty huge, but...
Oh! Ogre stopping this in its tracks, and they've brought Jottam on top of the cliff. He might still die to the flame break. Well, he gets it, but Sonoid with a big ravage killing on 3, maybe even 4, but here comes the Echo, here comes the Chain Frost, bouncing on the creep. Sadoy is going to go down. Now it's going to be up to God, BZZ, and Yult to just clean it all up. Chase and 4 going to be sort of stuck by the ravage there. There's no coil. It was already used. And, okay, Terrorblade illusion, that is Smoke's coming in, but God gonna pick up the double kill with the Dagon attack, and will burn down to the Ignite, so Yol gets the kill there on the Viper. That's 3 for 2, started off good for Synergy. They survived the Ravage, but were in the end still chased down.
Pew, 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 pew. We're going to see that being the punctuation on a majority of these heroes' lives. Ember Spirit goes down very quickly to the burst. Lich as well. And yeah, this was mostly without BZZ. Like, BZZ is now bringing to bear his full force on this tower, and he's able to siege away very slowly, but surely taking down the Marine Drax first and foremost, just in case there are going to be any buyback plays, but we see none. The Lich can buy back, but it'd be pointless, and yeah, it looks like it is going to be potentially this full lane. We're going to see HHH try to cover the retreat. He has his last up in 3 seconds. BZZ, the target of choice. Willie Sunder, an ally. Willie Sunder, the bat. He'll just get lassoed, and they might be able to stun him out.
BKB to do it. Okay, no, they'll kill him by the time he gets to react after the lasso. Alright, so nicely done. A good pick off. And it was the ranged Rex to fall. The melee put it half. That one will obviously regen. So they get something out of that. But it was a good Echo that kind of turned the team fight up there, and also the Chain Frost. They didn't have them for the base defense, but it would turn out they didn't really quite need them. But God is just going to keep killing people. Yep. He kills the Lich. Lich does have buyback, 1,300 in the bank, and now about 4 minutes late, Yamaha R7 here, phase drums, and now he's picked up the Battle Fury.
Yep, so, I mean, I don't think that Lich wants to buy back here. Like, we talked about how many times he's gotten kills and assists, and he's been really kind of pseudo-carrying. He's been transitioning into, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 4 as far as positions go. That would generally average to 3, but it's weird to say. Yeah, I think that the Lich is really getting a lot of value out of the kills that he got, and buying back now would just throw that away. He needs to get something. He needs to get a 4 staff to help somebody out. He needs to get a pipe for his team. I don't know. They just need some survivability. They still don't have a mech, so I guess that would have to be the item of choice, but I don't know. At this point, they just seem to be clobbered by all these big AoE abilities, and if there's not the reaction time there, it doesn't matter if you can heal them back up, because the Ember is dead in like 1 second straight.
Yeah, and it's going to get even worse as Terrorblade is going to finish that Scotty relatively soon. It only needs about 300-400 more golds if he's being really careful, which BZZ probably won't be this game. He'll save for buyback as well, but I wouldn't really expect it. They're just going to go back for the full force. Oh, just kidding. It's already fully delivered and 1,300 in the bank. BKB's up before being lassoed, so not taking any damage. Okay, now we'll pop Metamorphosis and start the chase down, but he is a rather slow, massive demonic being once he pops that, so not going to be able to catch anyone. They also blink away, scurry over some terrain, and they're back into their base, but, you know, you've got, what is it, like, I'm just going to cheat and look. What's the uptime on that?
Metamorphosis?
52 seconds?
Yeah, the scales.
So, yeah, it does. What is it, 4 seconds each level? Yeah. So, 52 seconds up on that, about half, so about 25 right now. Should be enough to take down these melee racks. There is no Fortify available. Maybe Wim can say something about that. They're going to be a little more careful this time. Or just switch over to middle and try to bring down the tier 3 as well.
Usually you see a Fisher across like this, but I think he wanted them to cluster into a choke point so that he could just slam right in that solid avenue there. So I like that.
So that he could welcome them to the jam.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. He's got Blink, he's got Force Staff, he's got level 2 ultimate. That's all he really needs if they make the same mistake again. But I feel that was a pretty earth-shaking lesson, so we'll see that they won't make the same mistake. They'll play a little bit more passive, and as I mentioned before, they can just play the farm game. As they spread the map, BZT gets more farm than anybody on Synergy, often 2 or 3 heroes combined, and then if anybody oversteps and farms it a little bit too aggressively, G's going to put them in their place with this Dagon E-Blade. E-Blade not out just yet, about, what, 1,400 gold?
Is he really going for the full
E-Blade? Oh yeah, if you go the Dagon 5, you might as well. I mean, this is all the...
Yeah, that's true.
It's all the nuke. It's really, really good.
Gonna be pretty good. No more Bat Rider. He's gonna jump in and look for a lasso, and he's gonna get zapped. He might get zapped already. There's another double damage on God. He's been fortunate to find. Oh, he's gonna go forward with that and finds a single pick off. Buyback available for the Bat. Will they be able to force it out? Roche respawning. Yol's just gonna wait. Big it, I guess. Not really lucky. That's about the average time for it to respawn, but there was a potential for another minute.
Yeah. But alas, we're just going to see it claim very, very quickly. It's just going to be an Aegis going to Terrorblade, almost guaranteed. And he's got that 8-second BKB, so he's still a very big force. We didn't really mention the Scotty, but, you know, it's good stats. It's what Terrorblade likes. So we do see G go for the solo kill, and Yamaha dropping very low, but doesn't get finished off by that alone. That was a very close call, though. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he's happy that E-Blade was not finished.
Roshan has fallen to the dust.
He's going Ogre Club for the Ember Spirit, so he'll like to get towards the BKB. He's a little sick. He'd hope to have the BKB by the time that F plate is finished, but with only like 400 more gold, that's like one easy kill here for G's Puck. Well, he'll be able to have that out delivered, or potentially just pick it up from the enemy fountain. But HHH will throw out a little bit of a pause. I'm sure someone's doorbell rang.
So we'll have a quick recalibration. Time to think about the current state of affairs. PC is freezing up, but yeah, it's going to be a butterfly coming out for Terrorblade. When he has that, the illusions are going to be very frustrating to deal with. They can actually evade Sleight of Fist, so that's important to note. Is that Yamaha will not get guaranteed hits on them. 1 in 3 or 2 in 3 chance for that, and then obviously the cleave will still take full effect. You can't evade the cleave component. So it's about positioning. It's about just making sure you don't clump up. You maybe bait out the Echo Slam or try to get a quick Ancient Seal pick off on him. In either case, the important thing is that they don't get slammed on top of an illusion creep wave.
Yeah. Also, don't forget Flutter. You lose that move speed on Terrorblade in your other form. So activate that Flutter, chase some people down. Maybe. What is it, 20% I think it has?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good. 20% is generally enough to get you exactly what you need to as far as a little boost to movement speed, but I don't think it's the most game-breaking thing. He still wants it for the stats, for the evasion, and yeah, it's just a nice little perk on top. E-Blade finally up for Puck. It's going to be very helpful for Jotum, in fact. Like, Jotum, dropping the Mystic Flare on anybody. If they're E-Bladed, they're just guaranteed death down. So we'll see Yamaha kind of make his final stand with the Sleight of Fist. He's clearing out creep waves pretty well, but without any crit, it's going to be just, I mean, it's not bad damage, but it's also not like completely destroying all the supports on the backline. Like, he needs this BKB so bad, and I don't think he finds it this game. Just the tempo is a little bit too quick, and this Terrorblade is a little bit too out of control.
Yep, pretty much. Story of most Terrorblades. And speaking of the Skywrath again, like you said, the F-Blade, that ghost form on an enemy will help him. I'm, like, really noticing the lack of DPS from the Mystic Flare. Like, we've seen so many people just walk out of it. It's like no longer that finisher. It's kind of just something that does some damage during trying to kill somebody, but basically everyone just walking out of it for the most part.
Yep, still plenty of ways to make it count, but it's got to be a really good Ravage to really set it up. Otherwise, you have to maybe force-staff them out of a Dream Coil to actually get that guaranteed stun. I'm curious, after these two BKBs come out, one's building up a Batrider, one's on Ember Spirit, if G would consider going for an Aghanim Scepter.
Heck yes. I've seen it actually a couple of times. I think he might have been one of the people I saw do it. I mean, yeah, piercing the spell immunity now, like, it's pretty nice. Keep your team fight control if there's mass BKBs.
Exactly. Because I feel that, like, everything other than Terrorblade right now is completely magic-based, and by taking that out of the
Uh-oh. They're gonna jump here on God, but there's the counter by Tidehunter. We didn't really talk about it, but Tidehunter does really well to stop those Ravages. Mystic Flare will bring down the Echo. No threat of that, no buyback either. And now we gotta find the Puck. Puck is actually now floating around on the back lines. Did escape that. It's the time that does fall. But, oh, what do you know? It's your Resident Terrorblade in the bottom lane, just infesting it, taking out another lane of racks, or at least the range. God gonna rotate down. F-Blade coming off cooldown in 5 seconds. Doesn't need it. We'll just use the Dagon first. That's gonna force the buyback out of the Lich. Now up top. Viper coming back down, push out the wave a little bit, but the bottom lane of Rack is completely gone. The BZZ throws out the BKB and will chase here. Doesn't even activate the Flutter, but maybe could have. That's all I care about, apparently. As here comes God in, the F-Blade. Oh, gonna force out, but no, the other attack after he jaws over the orb. God gets the kill on the Batrider, forces his buyback. Terrorblade walking, creeping, a little slowed down.
He's got Aegis and Sunder. Like, he can do anything he wants in this situation.
Yeah, probably will try to Sunder before he has to use the Aegis, but doesn't look like he really needs to do either right now. Just gonna go back to hitting some creeps.
Him looking for a play, but they're just gonna walk. They have taken 3 racks out of the 6, and they're feeling pretty good about that. They dropped the Observer Ward in their wake. They actually have 3 wards near the enemy base or inside, so VP have an extremely good understanding of when the Puck can go in. G right now, he can just pick off any one of them with the E-Blade Dagon, and he knows exactly when they're overextending. So they're not going to be surprised by smoke. They're going to find pick-off opportunities with the Puck, and one pick, and they can just break the entire base wide open. Or just wait out the Ravage and get that double juicy ultimate from Tide.
Or God could just, you know, pit stop and farm the jungle real quick. No big deal. I guess they're waiting for the Ravage, for the double Ravage in 40, so he's just going to make the most of his trip back to base. Another 3k in the bank, so what are we, 1,200 gold away from potentially that Aghanim Scepter, but have the BKBs even finished? There's one on the Viper, and it's 10 seconds, so just finished up there, and well, Yamaha's is pretty close, so maybe we will see the Ags.
Yeah, I mean, I think G's more likely to go for Hex here, but I still think the idea has merit if the BKBs start frustrating them. But for now, we will see him just go for the BOTs, allows him to get to the top lane, and maybe go for the solo kill on Yamaha. He does preemptively activate the Flame Guard, so even with the Blink Silence, I don't think he finds the kill. And we do have Batrider actually kind of laying the trap in case he does get jumped. But yeah, in the end, it's going to be tree line play from G. The Orb will scout out the Firefly. I don't think that means, I think that means HHH did not scout it out, but all the same, they're pretty aware of what's going on from either side.
Alright, Ember completed the BKB, so with that middle lane of racks remaining, obviously bottom was completely cleaned out by Virtus Pro. Some creep have got back to the melee racks, but for the most part, and actually completely, it is back to full HP. However, it will fall very quickly as soon as a Terrorblade shows up around it. Fortify on cooldown here for Synergy for another 2 minutes, so, you know, they got good time. The Aegis has expired. Has been expired for a minute, 2 to 5 on the Roche timer, but I don't think Virtus Pro are going to feel too pressured to wait for it. They just need to make sure Whim doesn't surprise them, and they've got eyes on him right now. The creeps are down there, they see him trying to clear them out, so it's pretty obvious where he is, as Batrider risks his life. That was pretty close. Shows up, doesn't see Puck. In his room to try to start things off. Sudoi goes in, Ravage number 1, gonna refresh. Needs some maybe mana boots, and okay, what's he doing? What's he doing? He's got a mech, he's got charges, he's not gonna mech or wand. But it doesn't matter. I mean, all 4 of Synergy have died, but I don't really know what Sudoi was doing. There's the full wipe, the BZZ triple kill, the GG is gonna be called out here, and well, with that explosive final team fight, that's going to bring the day of Synergy. Well, we started with Southeast Asian Dota, now we moved over to EU, but that concludes the day.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a very exciting day indeed, getting to see these teams in action. Virtus Pro closing it out with a flourish. They did really well today. So I really like to see this team, their kind of adaptive playstyle. The fact that they are picking up the late game core heroes for BZZ is, in general, really good for this metagame. And it's all about the supports and their offlaner and how they've contributed to team fights to make those plays happen. And as you pointed out, G, he never fails to impress. Snowballing forward,
yeah, seriously.
He's able to do so much work. So I really like, across the board, all of Virtus Pro's lineup, what they're able to accomplish throughout the games that I've seen recently, and I think they're a real contender for Tier 1 in Europe. I mean, there's a lot to compete with. Obviously, there's a bundle of talent there, but Virtus Pro are among them for sure. So
yeah, I think they're back on that pedestal for sure. Yeah. They've looked really good. But, well, that's the day, guys. We hope you enjoyed here. It looks like some other crazy stuff must be going on, because there's not a lot of you enjoying this final game for Virtus Pro, the final game that Synergy is going to play in the Synergy League. But anyways, shout out to everyone who is watching. Of course, if you enjoyed it, there in the top right, you can see I'm Helium, at Heliumbrella, Blaze here, at Blaze Casting. Let us know what you thought. Follow us on Twitter. Don't follow us on Twitter. It's whatever, but that's all for the day. So take it easy, everyone. We'll see you next time.